this is the illusion that is ruining your golf swing. I'm absolutely certain you don't know how far you hit all your irons. Now you think you do, but you actually don't. And I see it all the time. Golfers don't actually know how far they hit it because they don't work out the yardage correctly. Like, just take this hole right here. Is the par 3 second, and it's fraught with danger. And I mean, look at that flag too. It measures 145 yards. Now it measures that, and it also backs that up on this right here, 142 from the tees that we're playing from. And so many of us will go, oh, that's playing around that 150 mark. Let me grab my 7-iron. Or you'll have that conversation in your head that you go, on this hole, I always hit 7-iron. On this other approach shot, I always hit 5-iron. I always hit my hybrid. What I'm trying to say is, you pick your club straight away after you get your yardage, but that's categorically the worst thing you can do. And why it's the illusion that's ruining your golf swing. Because you're not working out your yardages correctly, how on earth can you know how far you hit the golf ball? Follow this process. And this is a process that I have refined over 4 years of caddying on the European Tour and Challenge Tour, on and off. But what I'm trying to say here is, this is what I used as a process to work out my players' yardages, and it will come automatic. So the first thing to do is simply get your yardage, whether you use a laser, or to be honest, you just use the markers on the side. Find out how far it is to the middle, or if you're using a laser, the flag. In this case, the flag is 145 yards. Next, you've got to work out your slope. Like, look how much lower you are from me, just from this tee box to the tee box where you are. Tee box all the way to the flag. So the next thing we've got to do is, on our yardage, take into account the slope. Now, this is not an exact science, and you can't use your slope measure on your laser. Come on, we can't cheat. What we've got to do is we've got to sort of guesstimate what that is. Now, I would say, based on my experience, that we are roughly like 5 yards downhill. So 145 yards to the flag is actually playing 140. So our yardage that we lasered was 145, our playing yardage was 140. Now we're talking in the realms of nearly 8-iron. And I don't think it's going to end up even at that club. If I chose 7-iron, I'm lost. The next thing we've got to do is work out which way the wind's going. Is it helping? Is it hurting? Is it off the left? Is it off the right? Because this will affect how far your golf ball goes. Now, I know I'm breaking these steps down, but honestly, this will just genuinely become automatic for you. You can do most of this when your playing partners are taking their shot, so it'll take you no time at all. And to work out the wind, I just simply point my left hand, you can do it with your right hand, it doesn't really matter. I point one of my arms directly at the flag. I then get a clump of grass and work out which way, relative to my arm, the wind went. Do it 2 or 3 times if you need to. That was definitely a little bit across here. So I think that's maybe 2 or 3 yards more help down off my right shoulder. So my 140 yardage now that it's playing, including the slope, I think it's now playing more like 137. And now we're getting closer to choosing our club. Let me grab my golf ball out of my pocket that we're gonna hit. Now I want you to do me a favor. Please send this to a golfer that always misses the green long or misses the green short every single time, and it's costing them more than 4 or 5 shots around. Like, I've done this with students, and I'll be honest, straight away they go out the next week or even 2 weeks later when they get a chance to play, and they're saving 6 shots right away. Like, right away. Okay, so think about this so far. We've gone, get your yardage, take your slope off, you then take into account the wind, then take into account where the trouble is. Now this flag is a little bit towards the front, so 137 with the water on the right doesn't really bother me. But let me paint a little bit of a scenario right here. If I had 137 yards to a back flag, I might then make that a 135 shot, because there I don't want to go long. The trouble is long. So if the trouble is ever long, take a few more yards off your yardage. If the trouble is short, add a few yards onto the yardage that you've got so far in your process. Okay, so I'm gonna just stick with what I've got here based on that flag. You now have your number. You can choose your club. And what was started off as 7-iron is ended up as 9-iron. And now, because I have so much more of an understanding of how far the shot is playing, and then how far I'm actually hitting my golf club, I don't have that illusion of my club going certain yardage when it's not actually. I don't go in the rubbish, I don't go in the water, I don't make bad errors. I start to build up a detailed knowledge of my game where I know I can start to really lower my scores. I don't have any illusion on what I'm doing. And then you can hit the green, be way more comfortable. That is safe as houses right there. And that's so key, because if I'd chosen 7-iron, I'd ended up so long in water, I would never have more opportunities for either, hopefully, a birdie, but a worst case scenario, a tap in par. And really, right, without changing my swing, with getting the right illusion, I know exactly how I can save myself 4 or 5 shots, maybe even possibly 6 easily around, just like some of my students have done. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.